Hi, MCDL families. I'm Miss Amanda, and I'll be joined shortly by Miss Nancy to bring you a program called Creative Kitchen Gardening. We are going to talk and show you several ways to use items you have at home in your kitchen to create your own veggie garden. You'll learn ways to reuse what you have at home. So let's go ahead and get started. The first activity we're going to talk to you about today is egg carton planters. So for this activity, you're going to need a couple materials: an empty egg carton, dirt that can be from your backyard, eggshells that have been washed out, seeds. Now these can be saved from different fruits and vegetables you eat or seeds that you bought from a store. And you're going to need a sunny spot to place your planter once you're done with it. So here are the steps for doing the egg carton planter. To begin, you're going to cut the top off of the egg carton. Then you're going to poke holes in each egg compartment. Then you're going to take the top that you cut off and place that underneath the part that has each compartment in it. And this will allow excess water to be caught, and it's going to allow for proper drainage. Then you are going to fill each little egg compartment with dirt and drop in a couple of seeds. Then you're going to find a sunny spot to place your planter. In a couple weeks, you should start to see sprouts. Continue to grow inside until plant is established. Then you're going to transfer the plants outside into your garden. So here are some pictures that I took at home doing this activity. So here under the beginning steps, I had a spaghetti squash for dinner one night and a red bell pepper for dinner the other night. And I just saved some of those seeds to use to plant into my egg carton planter. And then you can see the pictures on the right-hand side show the seeds and the dirt in the planter. And the fun thing about using eggshells is that you can just remove the whole thing, the eggshell and the dirt and the seeds, and then when your plant starts to grow, you can kind of just lift that whole thing out of the planter and plant that directly into the ground outside. Now, another thing I wanted to talk to you about are ways to use some garbage that you have at home to reuse those to make planters. So here in this picture, I saved a yogurt container and an applesauce cup, and then I saved a couple juice containers. And you can actually, if you don't have an egg carton, you can just fill these little containers up with dirt and then add your seeds and put it on your windowsill and grow your plants right in there. And then once your plant grows and it's established, you just kind of dig the dirt out and plant it right into the ground. So the next activity we want to talk to you about is using an herb to take a cutting from and then to grow more herbs from that. So to do this activity, you are just going to need your herb plant. So you can propagate using basil, mint, lemon balm, oregano, stevia, rosemary, or sage. So you want to make sure that you start with a mature plant, so one that is very grown. Then you're going to need a pair of scissors, a cup of water, dirt, and a planter, and this will be used a little bit later. And then again, a sunny spot that you can place this to help it grow. So here are the steps to make an herb cutting. So to begin, you are going to cut off the top 4 to 5 inches of your plant, just below the leaf joint, which is also called the node. You're going to remove all the leaves except for the top few. The ones that you do pull off, you can lay flat to dry and then use that with cooking. You're going to place the plant into a cup of water, leaving the top leaves out of the water. And then you are going to place this in a sunny spot so that it can grow. After a couple of weeks, roots will start to grow. After the roots have matured, it can be planted in dirt. So let's take a look at a couple pictures I took at home. So as you can see in the pictures on the left, the very first picture is a mature basil plant. So last year in the fall, whenever gardening season was over and I was pulling all of my plants out of my garden, my basil plant was still growing. So I decided to take a clipping from that inside to grow during the winter and the spring. So as you can see in the second picture, that is my cutting that I took, and I placed it in the glass of water to let the roots grow. And then in the third picture, I laid it out so that you could see the roots, or those little white lines at the bottom, starting to grow. And once you get a lot of roots, then you can take it and plant it in dirt. So this is just a planter I have at home. And then from there, it will grow and mature and look like the picture, the very first picture here, a mature plant again.
Hi, this is Miss Nancy. Did you know that you can regrow many vegetables from kitchen scraps? Carrots, scallions, celery, lettuce, all those vegetables and more can regrow from kitchen scraps. Some of the things that you'll need to start this process is a cutting board and a knife. A grown-up can help you with the cutting part. You'll need a shallow dish of water and dirt and a planter to use later, and then a sunny spot to place your cutting into. To begin, you're going to cut off the root part of your vegetable, and you'll use this same process with the carrots, the celery, the lettuce, and the scallions. Once you cut off the root part, you're going to place it into a shallow bowl of water and then find a sunny spot to put your bowl of water into. It's a good idea to check the water every day and add more water as necessary, or maybe even change it out. After a week or two, your cutting should start to grow, and after a few weeks, when it's a couple inches tall, you'll be ready to place it into a planter with dirt. Continue to water and leave it in a sunny place. You could even plant this outside in your garden. Here's a picture of how we did some celery. Take a knife and cut off the root end. The second picture is what it looked like when it had been in water for a couple of weeks. And then the third picture is what it looks like when it's planted in dirt. All the vegetables will do best and will grow the most when you've put them in dirt. Have you ever found an onion in your kitchen that had green sprouts growing out of the top of it? You can plant this onion in dirt to grow more onions. Make sure that you plant the onions 2 or more inches apart when you put them in the dirt. In the first photo, you can see what the onion looks like in the middle of the onion bulb. And this is actually the part that will grow into a new onion. You can plant this right into your planter or even straight into your garden. The second picture shows what it looks like for the whole onion to have the green growing from the top of it. You can plant this whole part into the garden as well. The green sprout will continue to grow taller and taller, and it may even get a flower on the top of it. The flower will have seeds in it that you can save to plant onions for next year. You'll know when it's time to dig up your garden when the top green leaves have dried and turned brown. The second photo is of a potato. Have you ever seen a potato with white or green sprouts growing out of the side? The sprouts are actually called eyes, and a new potato can grow from each of these eyes. Have a grown-up help you cut the potato into sections that include 1 to 2 eyes. Let these sections dry for 2 days before you plant them. Just lay them on a paper towel or a piece of newspaper to dry. It's really important to let them dry because if you cut them and put them in the dirt right away, the potato sections may rot in the ground. Plant your potatoes about 1 foot apart in your garden. Or you can plant them in a 5-gallon bucket, 1 eye per bucket. Once your plants have grown about 8 inches tall, it's time to hill the potatoes. That just means that you put more dirt in a hill around each of the potato plants. It takes about 10 weeks for a potato plant to make potatoes, and they grow in the ground underneath the plant. You can also look for the time when the plant has flowers, and that will tell you that you could dig it up and get some real tiny new potatoes to have for dinner. Or if you wanted to, you can leave them in the ground until the plants dry and turn brown, and then you can harvest your potatoes then. That gives the potatoes a little bit more time to grow larger. Here's a photo of what the scallions and the lettuce and the carrots will look like after they've been in water for a little bit. Did you know that you can cut the top of the carrots off and eat them? They taste a little bit like parsley, and they're rich with vitamins and potassium. You can also grow seeds in a sandwich baggie. You can grow vegetable seeds, or you could even grow a popcorn kernel. Some of the materials that you'll need to grow them are a few beans or popcorn kernel, a plastic bag, a wet paper towel, or even some dirt, and a planter to be used later. And then you need to find a sunny window to put your baggie in. So to begin with, wet your paper towel. It shouldn't be dripping wet, just slightly wet. Or you could put maybe 2 inches of dirt in the bottom of your bag. Spray the dirt so it's damp but not soaking wet. So you can put if you're using a paper towel, you can put the seeds in the paper towel or the popcorn kernels, wrap them up and put them in your baggie. If you're using dirt, you can just drop some of the seeds into the dirt at the bottom of your bag and press them in the dirt just a little bit. You'll want to seal up your baggie and then tape it to a window, one that gets some pretty good afternoon sun. Then watch them grow. First you'll watch for the roots to grow from the seed, and then you'll see it growing green from the top. When the plant has grown almost to the top of the baggie, it's time to put it in some dirt outside, in a planter, or in your garden. Here are some photos of what that might look like. The first photo shows the baggie and the seeds and a paper towel, and then the second photo shows what it'll look like after it's grown. Thanks for joining Miss Amanda and I to learn about how to grow plants and vegetables from kitchen scraps. Happy gardening!